So I was watching the live stream, a live stream the day that it was happening. I was like hopping between a few, and I know in several cases, some of the live streams that I was watching, someone had like a little media badge on or something. They said they were a blogger, and they were actually turned away by the police and told that media wouldn't be allowed in. And I understand that that command came from Marty Walsh himself. Is that correct?
I can neither confirm or deny what particular orders Marty Walsh gave to the Boston PD, but I do know that we had a whole lot of individuals that came out to support us that day that were barred
Hmm.
from entry, and they were stuck amongst the counter protesters. Um, or not even counter protesters. They were there protesting free speech. We were there to
Right,
have a free speech rally. They were there
right.
to protest free speech, which is crazy. Yes, some of our speakers were barred, some of our supporters were barred, and the press was
Hmm.
also barred from that bandstand area, which is probably 50 yards circumference.
Right.
It was a
No,
large area.
I saw some photos of it and it looked, I thought there was a great comparison. They compared it to that recent scene in Game of Thrones where everybody's huddled on the little island and all the White Walker zombies are surrounding them. And that's what it looked like. There was just a little bandstand in the middle and then this open space and like this press of people around you guys.
Yeah.
And I know the articles that I saw about it said things like, oh, hundreds expected at the free speech rally, even though the first sentence of the article said, oh, they're expecting over 1,000. And some media accounts were saying that only a couple hundred people showed up. Some said there were only 20. Marty Walsh actually told CBS Boston that there was only 5 people that came to support you guys. Meanwhile, a lot of the media reports are saying that the counter protest, or rather the free speech protest, was bigger than Trump's inauguration crowd.
Hmm.
So, how accurate would you say any of those numbers are?
Well, what I know is that there was probably about 30 individuals that made it through the security, the BPD layers of security that they had.
Mm-hmm.
We had some of our organizers, or one of our organizers, the kid that pulled the permit, John, had to actually confirm every individual that was to get in through through the security.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was he was supposed to be able to designate some people to have that role as well, but they wouldn't let him do that, and it was a chaotic day for sure.
So, what do you guys think happened? Because I know that I was seeing a lot of posts on social media of even people that had gone to support you guys thought that the rally was canceled and that no one was speaking. But I mean, I saw live streams and videos of people speaking, and they thought that it was just like, I don't know, everybody was kicked out. So, what exactly happened?
I'm not sure if it was a lack of communication or uh, miscommunication, but
Mm-hmm.
I think, or lack of planning. I'm not sure. I think that there was such a security threat to us because of all the heat after Charlottesville
Right.
that they were willing to potentially not suppress our rights to assembly, but I guess put some sort of additional restrictions on it than what would be there otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I can't say for sure. But it
Okay.
was definitely a mess that day. But the police got us out of there safe. Only a few of our supporters were assaulted in the crowd.
Right.
Um, yeah, it madness.
Mm-hmm. I know the police commissioner had said that if it became too much of a security threat or there was violence or threats of violence that the whole thing would be shut down. Meanwhile, I mean there's videos of police officers getting assaulted and yelled at. There's of an older woman getting like a flag ripped out of her hands and like dragged and pushed. There's videos of this Trump supporter that they had to escort to a safe area. Bottles of urine were being thrown at him. So there was violence, but it wasn't shut down. Or at least only you guys were sort of shut down.
Right. Yeah, the only people that were really under thumb were folks that went into the bandstand area. Everyone that went into that bandstand area got full pat down, couldn't bring bags in. They took some
Mm-hmm.
people had vests, like bulletproof vests or whatever, and they were taking those from people. So
Wow.
yeah, you're not even allowed to defend yourself even passively, I guess,
Hmm.
when you're in protective custody, I suppose. Or
I mean,
yeah,
it sounds like that's essentially what it was,
yeah,
really.
basically, we were forfeiting us over to them, and basically when they decided it was time to go, if we decided to not heed their advice and go with them, they were unable to guarantee our security until 3 p.m., which is when our permit was good till.
So the pounds and checks for weapons and things like that were only happening at the entrance into the common itself?
At the entrance into the bandstand. So everyone was in all the people protesting free
Hmm.
speech had whatever weapons they had. They
Right,
could have had
right.
anything on them, yeah.
I mean, for the whole week leading up to this, they were saying no flags, no flagpoles, no weapons, no sticks, no anything.
We put out a little advisory as to what expect. Well, that was the thing is we thought our reporters were going to get into one of the consent circles that of barricades that was there.
Hmm.
But our organizers and the 100 people we had the permit for would be in the innermost circle, and the reporters and the press in that second circle, and then whatever people were there to protest free speech in the very outer circle.
Right.
Yeah, unfortunately, people that were there just got blocked, and I personally feel bad because had we known, I would have people stay home. You're going to be put in harm's way. I
Right.
That was the last thing I wanted.
I remember at one point I tuned in and someone was saying that this crowd was screaming their name and just yelling, die, die, die. I mean, what was that like for you guys over in the bandstand to be hearing this stuff?
So those chants I didn't personally hear until
Okay.
we were being evac'd out of there in the back of the Boston paddy wagons, right?
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, there were 5 paddy wagons. We were all loaded up, probably beyond what the official capacity should be in the back of those things. And even with the sirens going, it it took them a while to get us out of the tolerant crowd that we were getting through.
The peaceful
Yeah,
protesters.
yeah, the peaceful crowd there. Uh, and yeah, the one chant I could hear over the sirens was "kill them,"
Oh
and
my
it
God.
was frightening because we're in the back of a paddy wagon and we don't have cuffs on or anything. They're trying to get
Hmm.
us out of there safely. It's for our own safety, but we're in a locked vehicle, so if anything were to happen, we're stuck back there, I guess,
Right,
unless they
right.
let us out.
Wow, that is terrifying. That is really intense.
Yeah, it was probably the most intense day of my life.
Well, I would hope that there's nothing ever more intense than that. I don't really know what gets more intense than people, pressing in and yelling death threats.
Yeah, 45,000 tolerant individuals